started about 2 years ago. The cellists in Portland are really close-knit, especially the ones who don't play just classical music. There's a lot of us who play professionally other types of music, jazz and rock music and indie music and stuff. So, and we tend to support each other a lot. We go to each other's shows, and a couple of us got the idea of just meeting up and just playing cello ensemble music, because there's some pretty cool stuff in the repertoire for that. And we did, and then decided, let's try playing just in alternative venues, not in where you'd see classical music, but in like rock venues. And for a pretty inexpensive ticket price, so it's not like a classical show. And just anybody can go and you can drink beer and watch a show kind of thing. And it caught on just pretty quickly from there. It was just a jam at first, because like Gideon Fordman lives down in Portland, and he just moved to Portland. Actually, when we started, he had just moved to Portland. He does a lot of cello ensemble stuff that's really just wild, off the wall. We'll play one of his pieces tonight. So it's a lot of fun. And we thought, let's play some of Gideon's music. Zoe Keating was living there from Rasputina at the time, and so we played some of her music too. It's also cello ensemble stuff. And then of course like Villa Lobos and just all the real ensemble stuff for cello. And the idea was just to jam, but I think even on just the very first rehearsal, we were like, let's perform this, because this is really fun. And see, we must have at least gone to college for a couple of years for performance or for music of some sort. Some of us have gotten our degrees. Ironically, our one symphony player who's in our group doesn't have a big degree. I don't think he even went to school, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to be principal of a symphony down in Mexico, and now he plays in the Organ Symphony a little bit. But I never finished my degree. I got so burnt out after school that I just quit, and I left the country for a year and didn't play cello. It was when I came back that I was like, oh, I can do fun stuff with this too. Yeah. So, but different backgrounds. Jazz improvisation is one of our most successful players. Does a lot of jazz improv and studio work kind of stuff. Very democratic. I guess I'd be the equivalent like the artistic director or musical director. The concert master changes for every song, sometimes within the song, because we have no conductor. And so the concert master ends up taking that place if you have a traditional chamber orchestra or something like that. But we have, when you look at our music, it's just there's notes all over it, like look at Skip or look at Megan or whatever for the cue, so everybody's cueing each other at certain places. It's very chamber. It was at the Doug Fir, which is like the hippest of the hip clubs in Portland. It was really kind of intimidating for most of the people who hadn't played there before. So, and it was just totally interesting. Nobody knew what was going to happen. The club didn't know that was going to happen. They took a total risk by even booking it, and got no press. The press was in this guerrilla style. We put up posters, and we'd go around and just talk to people, playing on the street outside in front of the club to draw people and that kind of stuff. And ended up getting a couple hundred people there on no press. And after a couple of months, we played at another hip club in the Holocene, and it filled the place on no press. And then at that point, we started getting press. It felt like people wanted to see lots of cellos, and the audience response was just amazing. I mean, our first couple of shows, we weren't that tight. I didn't think we sound that good, especially from a classical musician standpoint. We're all classically trained, and so we'd be like, oh, playing through a microphone sucks. You play out of tune, it's really hard, and it took us a few shows to get used to just the weird environment of not being in acoustic space. It's really, I think that's what's been so sustaining about it for me, is it's people all over the place. It's when we play all ages shows, it's really all walks of life, from old people to who would have expected it like this. I got the feeling we really started to take off when we started doing collaborations with local musicians. So our shows are kind of this mixture of we'll do a little bit of classical music, we'll do some funny stuff. We do a lot of covers because it's just fun, like Britney Spears and Bon Jovi and all that kind of silly stuff. And then also the collaborations with local Northwest musicians. Right. We started doing that. Our first shows was like Peter Broderick of Horsfeather. So we weren't a big band back then at all, but he's just an amazing violinist, and so he kind of had a cult following already. And Laura Gibson too. She took off just before we started playing with her, so it was really a boon for us to be working with her, and it's still just wonderful to work with her. And I think when we had that mixture going on of all this absolutely brand new stuff and weird arrangements of classical music and weird arrangements of pop songs, that just kind of makes a really interesting show. We decided to make it a different show every time. Every single show we play, I do a lot of the programming just because I write the vast majority of the arrangements. Me and Kevin Jackson write. They're the two members who write the most of the arrangements, and I'm the one who does a lot of the programming, working with who's going to be collaborating with us. So it ends up being me coming up with the and stuff. Well, I think I've done almost all of the collaboration pieces. There's a couple of collaborators that write their own things. So the musical collaborations, I do all those. Otherwise, it's just, you get a feeling when you hear something like that would sound really cool. Beethoven 7. There are many cello ensembles that have done that. The Defy a Fire Dance. That's cool. We get to play Colenio and like on the bridge and all that stuff. Stuff like that, where you just kind of get a feeling it'll work. Bon Jovi's Wanted Dead or Alive, they're so perfect. It should be a Dory's Elegy tonight. For the first time, we were supposed to play it as our encore on Friday night. I forgot one of the sets of music, so we couldn't do it, and I felt so horrible. But we're playing that tonight. Then, I mean, if you're a cellist, you know that piece, you've learned it, you've memorized it. If you're not, you probably haven't heard it. But it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful piece. There are a couple that we love to play. We're going to play them tonight. It's just to do like greatest hits kind of stuff. But Gideon Freudman, one of our members, wrote this Robin Hood Changes His Oil piece, which is just basically really fast cello looping stuff that he usually does electronically, and it's all scored out. And so it's just really fast, kind of crazy beat on the cello, but also played really Defy a Fire Dance is a lot of fun. Also, it's fiery. Quote Beza, it's a tango piece we like to do. So I think we're playing that tonight, for sure. An Apocalyptica covers time, and it's so cute because especially the classical musicians in the group have been texting me all morning because I came up last night to play with a rock band up here, and the classical musicians have been texting me all morning. This is fun, except we have to be in cramped positions for a long time. And I'm like, man, what's you guys drive to San Francisco straight from Portland? What are you guys going to do? And it's so logistically difficult to get this many cellists, and like it's such a financial risk as well. We're spending hundreds of dollars just to get everybody up here to play the show. That we're going to kind of piggyback on this kind of cello festival that's happening down in San Francisco and LA. Okay, to be honest, I probably only say this because I'm tired, but I don't think I would release an LP in the same way again. I mean, it feels like the music business is in such a funny state right now that having had us release this nationally and independently wasn't the best idea. We maybe could have done a record label thing if we wanted to do a national thing. I think in the future, if we release more, we undoubtedly will. It'll be EPs, shorter things, easier to digest. I mean, our records, it's 12 songs, it's really long. They're all totally different. We've got like Quiet Laura Gibson and Heather Broderick, and I thought it would be really funny to put Britney Spears' Toxic in the middle of it, and it is, but that's not easy to listen to a CD. You want this like nice, wonderful continuum, and I think you can get that out of our CD. I mean, I love it because I love listening to things that way, but but I think I'd like small EPs that are like little works of art, and I'm also more this year in the collaborative compositional direction. So as it is now, for the most part, people have songs and we put strings on them and we kind of develop them that way. But I'd like to move more in a compositional direction where they're writing a few songs and we're writing them with them, and we're with them during the process, so that we're changing things. And we did a couple of songs on our show on Friday night that were like that. One of them was Laura Gibson, and it was very much, she was a part of the process of changing how the arrangements are and shifting things and making things work in a certain way to get certain textures. And it was really, really fun, especially that we did with Laura. It was the most chambery sounding thing we've done. It was the most locked in, beautiful thing we've done, and the audience applauded it for so long. I mean, it was just, everybody in the room could tell that there was some really special synergy happening in that direction. And I don't know, and I think that'll be more fun for my cellists too, if they're part of the process rather than they show up, they read. They love it because it's exciting and it's not classical music right now, but I think they might love it even more if they're part of this process, which I think is the most interesting thing. I don't think we could do what we're doing if we were in a different city. It really has been. I think so many of us are professionals too, because Portland's just such an inexpensive city to live in, and it's so supportive creatively. I mean, I don't know another city where you can have an unsigned band that can draw 400 to 500 people, like when they're playing once a month. I mean, like, it's just kind of crazy. The audiences in Portland are so supportive, and I think for that reason too, since people are so used to seeing live music in Portland right now, nobody's bored with it. They're looking for the special shows to see, so they'll look for certain artists who are doing whatever's going to speak to them, and they'll religiously follow it. So enjoy a good show. I mean, that's what I shoot for every time we play. It's just to put on the best show, the most enjoyable show possible, the true dream. And I think this came up from talking to some people last night. It seems like Portland bands will come to Seattle, and not too many people will go see them, and Seattle bands will come to Portland, and not too many people will go see them. I mean, there's always the exceptions, Grand Archive and Fleet Cross and all that stuff, but we should bridge this more. I mean, we should be Portland bands should be able to come to Seattle, and Cello bands should be able to come to Portland and kind of bridge things, and we're kind of doing that in a way tonight. If it's in any way successful, people in Seattle will see some great Portland bands, and that we're playing with a Seattle band up here, we'll bring them down to Portland, and people will see them, and there'll just be this kind of different kind of cross seating going on.